Hello there, I'm Richard Moorcroft. It is the end of the week and welcome to Letters and Numbers, where your nightly jumpstart for the neurons is only moments away. Grab a pen and paper and let's get going. And joining us, as always, is the Letters and Numbers team. Firstly, the mathematician who can untangle an equation in just seconds flat, Lily Cerner.
Hi, Richard.
Hello, Lily. Now, how do you think you're going to go untangling equations on this Friday night?
I'm going to be lightning fast. Just wait and see.
Look forward to it, Lily. Welcome. And he compiles crosswords, but he is rarely cross and never down. It's the ever-cheerful David Astle. Now, David, you're even going to crunch a number or two.
I'm going to be crunching numbers. I don't know about it at lightning speed, but I think I'm somewhere between seventh heaven and cloud 9 tonight, so I think that makes Nimbus 8. I don't know where I am, but anyway, that's what we're doing tonight.
Well, once you get over the disorientation, we'll have a really good time
That's
here tonight.
right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Of course, it wouldn't be a show without these next two people. First up, our carryover champion, IT manager and business technology student, Phil Moore. Welcome, Phil. Great to see you back in the chair.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah.
Now, do you have a sense of whether you are a numbers person or a letters person?
I think more letters. Before we started, I thought I was probably equal, but now I think it's the letters. But conversely, my children, Ellen and John, who are still primary school, they like to do the numbers.
It's fantastic to know we've got such a young audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, great to see you and
Thank
good
you.
luck tonight. And ready to challenge Phil is Brett Chiawat, an auditor who enjoys playing games based on thinking and strategy. So welcome, Brett.
Hello.
Now, what are these games based on strategic moves?
There's one game that's actually based on Star Wars, and the strategic part comes in where you've got 1,000 cards to choose from, and you have to choose 60 cards to make up your deck. And I've actually done pretty well in it, and I was #1 in Australia, and then I got to represent Australia in the World Championships.
What a fantastic achievement.
Thank you, Richard.
Excellent work. Well, we look forward to some good competitive play tonight as well. So let's welcome Brett Chiawat and Phil Moore. So straight on into our first letters game of the night. Phil, you're a carryover champion. That means you have the first choice.
Could I start with a consonant, please?
Of course, let's start with an R.
And another one, please?
C.
And a third?
P.
And a vowel, please?
E.
And another vowel?
I.
And a consonant, please?
T.
Another consonant?
D.
A vowel?
A.
And a final consonant, please.
And last letter, K.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Our first clock for the night. So, Phil, first letters for the night. How did they serve you?
7, Richard.
And what about you, Brett?
I had a 6.
Let's start with your 6.
I had packet.
And Phil, your 7?
Pirated.
Pirated. Very nice start, David.
It is. I just suddenly think of these hot DVDs coming from certain places, a pirated packet. But pirated, obviously, being the longer, is the better for 7, and predict is another 7 there as well.
So, a great start for Phil on 7 points. Let's move straight on to our second letters game of the night, and this time, Brett, you to choose.
I'd like to start with a consonant, please,
Thank you. Let's start with an N.
and a vowel, please.
E.
Next up, a consonant
R.
and a vowel.
U.
And nextly, a consonant
S.
and another vowel, please.
E.
And a consonant, please,
G.
and a vowel.
I.
And I'll finish with a consonant, please.
And last letter, R.
Thanks, Lily. Here's the clock. Well, Brett, it was your first choice on the show. How did you go?
I had a 7.
And Phil?
And a 7.
All right, well, let's go with yours first, Brett, please.
I had ringers.
And Phil, what was yours?
Reusing.
Ringers and reusing, David. Now, actually, we've had a question mark over the re prefix and whether it is actually a word that's acceptable or not.
That's right. It can be quite precarious when you go for the re as a prefix because it is commonly with a hyphen. And in this case, I'm afraid, Phil, reusing only appears here in the Source Dictionary with a hyphen. So we cannot accept reusing. However, ringers, unlike a ring in with reusing, is perfectly fine for 7. And there's another one here, reinsure, just to show you how harsh this game can be. Reinsure is listed here without a hyphen. So that is a possible 8.
Tough stuff, but 7 points on this occasion for Brett. Well, Lily's looking forward to being lightning fast, and we are looking forward to our first numbers game tonight. Phil, could you pick our first numbers for tonight, please?
Thank you, Richard. Lily, could I have 2 large, 4 small, please?
2 large, 4 small. Thanks, Phil. And our numbers are 7, 9, 3 and 4. And the 2 large, 75 and 25. The target to reach, 478.
Thanks, Lily, and 30 seconds to get there. So, Phil, how did you go?
No, I did the same as I did last night. I just reused a number that I shouldn't have done.
No luck there. What about you, Brett?
I got 475.
So just 3 off the target. Take us through your method, please.
Okay, I started with 75 plus 25 to get 100.
75 plus 25 is 100.
Yeah. Then I added 7 to get 107.
Plus 7 is 107.
And then I added 9 to that.
Plus 9 is 116.
Times by 4.
By the 4,
Oh, that's wrong as well.
Oh dear. So unfortunately, both Phil and Brett have had a problem with this particular target. Lily, I was watching you. I know you promised to be lightning fast, and that's a big promise, but I think you got it in 15 seconds. Am I right?
yeah, about
According
that,
to the
I
clock,
think.
15 seconds was when you turned around. Show
Yeah.
us what you did.
Okay. Now, 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 by 25 gives you 400. 400 plus 75 is, of course, 475. Add the 3 is 478.
That's what we like to see. Friday night speed. Thank you very much, Lily. Well done. Unfortunately, no score for Phil or Brett. That means they're both still on 7 points each as we head for our first break of the evening and your first word mix for tonight. It's brat pole. And your clue, easily moved. Back after the break. Welcome back. Yes, easily moved is portable. Now, David, you were talking about seventh heaven and cloud 9, all sorts of wonderful terms, but you're going to take us to paradise?
That's what I'm looking at, all variations of paradise tonight. Now, where does the expression seventh heaven come from? And it's actually the Talmud, which is a Hebrew book of worship that was produced in 275 AD. And in that book is talk of the most exalted heaven where God resides, and that is called seventh heaven. Now, that has sort of morphed over the centuries to cloud 9 as well, so the two are believed to be linked. The other idea of paradise is Shangri-La. Now, that was created in 1933, or at least popularised in that date, by a book called Lost Horizon by James Hilton. And Shangri-La itself is a Tibetan word which essentially means mountain pass. So it's that idea of a remote, beautiful kingdom, possibly inaccessible. But the other idea of paradise is utopia. And this possibly speaks back to Shangri-La because that is literally Greek for not place. O topos, in other words, it is nowhere, it doesn't exist. So possibly paradise, unless Meatloaf was right, does not exist. However, we will still seek to strive and find it.
A little bit of a utopian hope, anyway.
That is.
Thank you, David. Let's have a look at our scores before we move on. Well, absolute level pegging, 7 points each for Phil and Brett as we move into our next letters game. And Brett, it's you to choose this time.
Lily, I'd like to start with a consonant, please.
Thank you, Brett. Let's start with an H.
And then a vowel, please.
I,
And a consonant.
B,
And a vowel.
A,
Another vowel, please.
E,
And a consonant.
S,
And another consonant, please.
N,
And a vowel.
O,
And I'll finish with a consonant, thank you.
and last letter, T.
And time starts now. How many that time, Brett?
I think I'm going to risk an 8.
We like a risky 8. Phil, what about you?
I couldn't see anything of 4.
A 4? OK, well, let's start with the 4, please.
Bias.
Bias from you, and Brett, your 8.
I had botanies.
Botanies.
I-E-S.
An interesting plural, David.
It's a great risk, Brett, because botany, obviously, the science of the plant, studying of plants, and botanies here is explicitly acknowledged because of the spelling shift. Botanies is a wonderful 8. Well done.
But what a great 8 for Brett. That means that Phil is now on 7, Brett on 15 points. Let's make some more words now with our next letters game. And Phil, this time, your choice, please.
Lily, could I have a consonant, please?
You can, thanks, Phil. Starting with a T.
And a second consonant, please?
F,
And a third?
L,
And a vowel, please?
A,
And another vowel?
I,
Consonant?
D,
Another consonant?
C,
And a vowel?
O,
And I'll finish with a vowel, please.
and last letter, U.
Thanks, Lily. 30 seconds. So, Phil, last time it was a 4. You're going to up the ante for us this time?
A little, I think, yes, 7, thanks.
7 sounds good. What about you, Brett?
I had a 6.
Let's start with your 6.
I had flaccid.
And Phil?
Outlaid?
Thank you. Interesting words, David.
It is. I should just attend to Brett's gamble there before we do the outlaid, if you like. Flaccid, of course, is a double C, so just be wary of that one, F-L-A-C-C-I-D. And outlaid, a lovely 7. Well played. Here listed, essentially to put forward a stake, most commonly used. And factoid is another 7, F-A-C-T-O-I-D, and actually coined by the US novelist Norman Mailer as a bit of a send-up of small pieces of information that are usually unverified.
Very nice work. So 7 points that time for Phil. Well, our first numbers game was a tough challenge for Brett and Phil, so let's see how we go this time around. Brett, your turn to choose, please.
Lily, can I please have 2 large and 4 small, please?
2 large, 4 small. Thank you, Brett. And our numbers are 3, 4, 9, 7, and the 2 large, 50 and 75. The target to reach, 854.
Thanks, Lily. Let's chase that target. So how did you go that time, Brett?
Not even close.
Not even close, dear. Another tough one. Phil,
I think I've got it, but I'm not sure.
you think you've got it? You think you've got 854?
I think so, yes.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed for you. Take us through your method, please.
7 plus 4 is 11,
7 plus 4 is 11.
times the 75
By the 75,
gets me 825.
825.
And then 9 times 3 is 27.
9 by 3 is 27.
So add that to the 825. I think gives me 854. No, it doesn't. It gives me 852.
Oh dear. Okay,
do it, can I?
unfortunately, Phil, because you did say that you
Sure,
had
yeah, I
854, we can't accept 852.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, once again, Phil and Brett, no score. But how did you go, Lily?
I got 854.
Well, that's the target we like. How did you get there?
Okay. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 by 75 gives you 900. 900 minus 50 is 850. And add the 4 is 854.
Very nicely done indeed. No score for Phil or Brett, which means that Phil is still on 14, Brett is on 15, and we're heading for our next break. Your next word mix. This time, hair cram. And your clue, you're probably in one right now. See you after the break. Welcome back. Yes, you're sitting in that armchair. Well, our scores are very close at the moment. Phil is on 14, Brett just 1 point ahead on 15 as we head into our final games of the night. First of all, our last letters game. And Phil, your choice, please.
Lily, I'll start with a consonant, please.
Thanks, Phil. L.
And another, please.
Q.
Ooh, and a third, please.
T.
A vowel, please.
Let's see if I can get you the U.
Please, that'd be nice.
E. Oh.
Another vowel, please.
I.
One more shot for the U. Another
All
vowel,
right.
please.
You ready? E. Oh.
Okay, give up. Consonant, please.
M.
Another consonant.
F.
And a final consonant, thanks.
And last letter R.
Thanks, Lily. I'll start the clock. Well, Phil, you tried hard for that U, but it just wouldn't come.
Wasn't
how,
there,
did,
was it?
how did you go anyway with the Q there?
7, thanks, Richard.
7 for you, Brett.
I had a 6.
What was your 6?
Melter.
Thank you, Phil.
Fertile.
Fertile sounds good to me, David.
It's amazing to think we've had paradise, we've had botanies, and now fertile. A beautiful 7. Lovely play, Phil, and the best that I could find.
All right, thank you, David. 7 points for Phil. Brett is on 15, Phil now on 21. Now it's time to play our final numbers game for the night and indeed for the week. And Brett, you get to choose those numbers.
I think I'll try my luck with your favourite combination, 3 large and 3 small. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. 3 large.
You have no idea what a wise choice that was.
And 3 small. And our numbers are 2, 3, 4, and the 3 large, 50, 125, and the lucky target number is 596.
Thanks, Lily. 30 seconds to get there. Well, Brett, you chose those numbers under Lily's recommendation. How did you go?
I managed 596.
Very nice. And Phil?
One off 597.
597. OK, well, Brett, take us through your method, please.
I had 3 times 2 to give 6,
3 by 2 is 6.
times the 100
By the 100 is
to get
600.
600, minus the 4 to get
Minus the 4
596.
is 596.
So well done, Brett. Right on target. And Lily, did you do it the same way?
I did,
Exactly the same.
exactly.
Well, that's the fast way, obviously. So well done, Brett. Great work. 10 points to Brett. That means Phil is now on 21, Brett on 25. Well, on our last game, on the last program of the week, we are down to the most exciting possible conclusion. The critical conundrum round. With 10 points at stake, the conundrum will make all the difference. So let's reveal the conundrum, and your time starts now. Oh dear, we didn't hear a buzzer from either Phil or Brett on that occasion, but let's have a look at the conundrum solution. It is spiritual. So with the scores unchanged, that means that our winner tonight after the final round is Brett. But Phil, a terrific game, and you've been a great carryover champion for us. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. It's been fun.
And we also would like you to head off with a Macquarie Dictionary, the 5th edition, to remember us by.
That'd be great. Thank you.
But congratulations, Brett. What a nail-biting conclusion.
Yes, very up and down that whole game, but managed to get it in the end.
Absolutely. So well done, and we look forward to seeing you back next week with us.
Thank you.
Well, David, a great conclusion, but you were talking about all sorts of words to do with paradise earlier that tied in very nicely.
Well, in fact, ironically, we actually finished with the word spiritual. So we've had spiritual, we've had botanies, and we've also had fertile, all of which I associate with a garden of paradise. And interestingly, if you throw a P into paradise and mix it up, you get disappear, which is, I think, a lovely concept to do with paradise as well.
Well, that's what we might all do for the weekend. Enjoy yours, David.
You too.
And actually, Lily, speaking of weekends, what's your idea of heaven for the weekend?
No maths. And maybe a trip to the beach.
Sounds like a great combination. Well, enjoy that weekend. And thank you for playing along with us here on Letters and Numbers. We will be back on Monday evening at the same time, 6 o'clock. And join us next week for the beginning of our series finals, with the first quarterfinal on Thursday night. Now, this special series will run over 7 nights, and it will feature our past champions battling it out to be the Letters and Numbers Grand Champion. We hope you can join us. See us on Monday and enjoy the weekend. Good night.